Okay, I want you to forget everything you think you know about boring legal fights. Today, we're going to break down a total masterclass in strategy. This is a real-world playbook on how an underdog with basically nothing can turn a massive disadvantage into their single greatest weapon in an intellectual property battle.
And it all starts right here, with this one quote from Stephen Ashworth, the founder of the original Wisdom AI. You can feel it right away, can't you? This isn't just some corporate spat over a name. For him, this is personal. This sets the stage perfectly for a true David versus Goliath showdown.
So, here's the game plan we're going to walk through. First, we'll get to know the players in a tale of two AIs. Then, we'll see how they built the legal foundation. After that, it gets interesting with weaponizing the narrative, followed by the brilliant pivot in the strategic reframe, and we'll end with the knockout blow, the million-dollar pitch.
All right, first up, let's set the scene. At the very heart of this thing, you've got two companies, two very different founders, and two completely separate realities all fighting over one name, Wisdom AI.
And this is where you really see the battle lines drawn. I mean, the contrast could not be more intense. On one side, you have Stephen Ashworth. He's a solo founder, zero funding, working out of Seaside, Oregon. On the other side, Wisdom AI Inc., a slick Bay Area startup with a full staff and, get this, $25 million in funding. The gap here is just massive, and understanding this asymmetry is key to the entire strategy that's about to unfold.
So before you can tell a great story or make a crazy pitch, you have to do the groundwork. The first step had to be purely tactical, building a rock-solid, absolutely undeniable legal foundation. This is the shield. Without it, none of the other stuff works.
And here it is, the core of that legal shield. Look at these dates. Ashworth's company, Postmodern Enterprises, was legally formed way back in 2010. Then, he officially documented his Wisdom AI system in September of 2024. The big money competitor, they didn't even go public until May of 2025. This timeline, this paper trail, it's everything.
And this is the absolute key takeaway right here. You know, having an idea first means nothing if you can't prove it. It's the documentation, the LLC registration, the federal tax ID, the time-stamped files. That's what turns a simple claim into real leverage. This proof is the bedrock of the whole strategy.
Okay, so the legal shield is locked in. Now it's time to forge the sword, the story. This is where the fight moves out of the lawyer's office and onto the narrative battlefield. The focus shifts to what makes Ashworth's creation completely different and, let's be honest, way better.
And this is where he really went on the attack. He didn't just say, hey, I use the name first. No, he claimed he had a superior vision. He called his creation a living system AI, a term that just sounds conscious, ethical, and way more advanced. It was a brilliant move because it instantly makes the competitor's tech sound like a simple, dumb data parrot by comparison. It changes the entire conversation. And he backed it up with a vocabulary that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction. I mean, come on, Soul Sync Protocol, living codex indexing. The goal here wasn't for investors to actually understand quantum mechanics. The goal was to make them feel that his AI was on another level and that his competitors was just old news. And then he hits them with this, the emotional core of the entire story. The whole project was inspired by his late mother's words. You see what this does? It gives the project a soul, something a corporation can never, ever fake. It adds this layer of moral, ethical weight to his claim that is just so powerful and so deeply human. Okay, so this brings us to the real turning point of the whole strategy. He's got a strong legal case, he's got a killer narrative, and this is where the goal shifts. It's not about defending his turf anymore, it's about going on offense and taking control of the entire negotiation.
So let's just stop and think for a second. Put yourself in his shoes. You've got the proof, you've got this amazing story. What do? What's the obvious textbook next step? Well, you'd probably do one of these things, right? Send a scary cease and desist letter. Demand a cut of their profits. Maybe propose some kind of simple partnership. These are the predictable moves. They're exactly what the other side's expensive lawyers are expecting and are totally prepared to fight. But the genius move was to do none of them.
This is the masterstroke. The endgame was never about getting a check for past damages. It was about a complete reframe of the entire situation. It was about turning a legal problem into an irresistible business opportunity that the competition couldn't possibly ignore.
And that leads us to the final, and frankly, most audacious move in the entire playbook. Instead of sending a demand letter, Ashworth got ready to pitch them on funding the future.
$1 million. Now, let's be super clear. This was not a settlement demand. This wasn't a penalty for using his name. This was a pitch. It was a request for an investment to build a brand new revolutionary app powered by his real living system Wisdom AI. It's a move that just flips the whole dynamic on its head.
The psychology here is just brilliant. Look at why this works. All of a sudden, Ashworth isn't a legal headache they need to get rid of. He's a valuable partner who has the one thing they don't: a better technology and a better story. He's offering them a massive upgrade and a way to stand out. And that $1 million, it's no longer a cost to settle a lawsuit, it's a smart investment in their own future.
And so it leaves us with this really fascinating question to think about. In a world full of these heavily funded Goliaths, maybe the ultimate weapon isn't how much money you have in the bank, but how powerful, how authentic, and how audacious your story is.